Welcome to the Goop podcast. I'm Gwyneth, and today I am joined by Zanna Roberts Rassi. She's a journalist, entrepreneur, and founder of Milk Beauty, who has helped shape the conversation around beauty, style, and identity. I would like to thank Audemars Piguet for making this retreat possible, providing a beautiful moment for all of us to reflect and reset and reconnect with things that really matter.
Thank you for sitting here and let me just fire questions at you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we are all here in this amazing place for an amazing retreat to talk about how we can actually find time for ourselves. How can we carve out time for self-care and wellness. And as one of the busiest people, I think we all know, CEO, mother, wife, entrepreneur, how do you find time for yourself?
Well, I've gotten really good at building it into my day.
Right.
I used to feel like my day kind of dragged me by the neck through it.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I think maybe 5 years ago, I started to take ownership of my day, starting with myself and how I feel. And I get overwhelmed quickly. And to your point, I've got a lot of different areas to manage.
Many hats. Many hats.
And if I'm trying to do two things at the same time, I kind of fall apart. So I've become pretty rigorous about like time in the morning for me to meditate and exercise and shower with no phone around.
Do you stick with this?
I stick with
Do
it.
you really?
I really do, yeah.
The temptation though, or it's just not, is it just an absolute no, cannot even look?
I do emails in the morning when I wake up with coffee, and then I put it down for like probably 90 minutes to 2 hours to meditate and to do all the stuff. Yeah.
So spending time, I think there's something about taking time out, and I think a lot of us feel overachievers, but then you almost feel guilty for not doing it. Do you ever feel that? And if so, how do you kind of combat that when you're not producing all the time?
So I think when we don't want to feel our uncomfortable feelings, we become very busy. We do as an act of not feeling. And that's kind of the most fundamental issue, and one that I was very guilty of. Like really not wanting to look at the harder aspects of my childhood or parts of myself or difficulties in relationships. So the longer my to-do list got, the more, and wow, wasn't I productive and couldn't I be proud of myself and all the things? But I sort of came to start seeing this doing as a really detrimental act of like self-harm in a way. So that's one thing. I think I've had to really put it in its place and understand that all of that doing is coming from a broken place.
I'll relate to that.
Yeah, I think probably we all can to a
There's
certain
a lot of nodding
extent,
happening. So.
And I think as well, we have to be careful too, because then we get really hardwired to do and to get the praise. Like, oh, you work so hard and you're doing it and it's so great. And it's like, that starts to feel like part of our identity and starts to feel really good. So then we start to question, well, what if I wasn't doing and I wasn't successful, or if I wasn't impressive, then what's left? And am I worth anything?
Yeah.
Which has also been an interesting thing around aging to reckon with, that for so much of our lives as women, the way we look, our sexuality, our reproductive viability is such a part of our identity in this ego sense. And we don't realize that. We don't realize that underneath we are this, just like we are beautiful souls, and we don't need to do anything. We just need to be. So this has been really this unwinding that I've been trying to work on in the last, it started when I was 40. So it's been, but I was pretty scared. So this has been an evolving process. But now when I notice myself doing too much, I know that there's just stuff that I don't want to be feeling.
So you recognize it instantly and shift behavior.
I try. And I also have a husband that's like, what's going on
Does he
here?
keep you accountable?
Yeah, he does.
That's
He
great.
does. Very much
Do you
so.
keep
Yeah.
him accountable?
I do.
At Goop, so much of what we create begins with curiosity, my own search for the things that truly make life feel richer, more resonant, more alive. Over the years, we've tested, tried, and shared what feels exceptional with the hope of becoming a trusted companion for women as they continue to evolve. This spirit of authenticity and exploration is also at the heart of our partnership with Audemars Piguet as they celebrate their 150th anniversary. For generations, this family-driven maison has pushed the boundaries of what's possible in design and craft while staying rooted in timeless sophistication. Like Goop, they believe in honoring tradition while continuously shaping the future, a pursuit I am deeply inspired by and by those who dare to live with intention and imagination. Our philosophy, always becoming, is an invitation to pause, to step outside the noise of the everyday, to meet the parts of ourselves we haven't yet discovered. It's about embracing beauty, agency, and creativity at every age.
So we had an amazing session early with Jennifer, and she asked us all a really interesting question, and it really made me think, and I saw a lot of people in the room feeling the same. So she asked us to close our eyes and think about if time went on forever, if we had no limits, infinity, what would we change about what we're doing today and how we're using time differently?
That's so interesting.
Isn't it a great
Leave it to
question?
Jen Fried to
I know, she made us all just
ask
like,
the great questions.
what would you do? Infinity, time goes on forever.
Oh, that's like such a scary thought in a way, you know? Like, I mean, I think I would try to focus on not doing the things that make life feel,
Stressful.
yeah, and hard. And that's, again, goes back to the same thing of trying to bifurcate parts of yourself and, trying to push certain things down and trying to, achieve things.
Yeah, be in the moment more, be more
Yes.
present, right? It would allow us all to be that way.
Definitely.
Yeah, I went straight to
Definitely.
spend more time with my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. My husband just did this very cool show on Netflix that premiered where he interviewed Jane Goodall, and he's interviewing these amazing people he interviews them and they know it will be their last ever interview, and it doesn't air until they die. It's called Famous Last Words.
Excellent, excellent.
And I'm obsessed with this show. And every time he comes home from doing it, he says, everybody says the same thing. They just wish they had more time with the people they loved, more time with their kids. Not one of them has said, I wish I had published that book, or I wish I had won that award. It's all about just, I wish I had slowed down. I wish I had just savored time with the people that I love. I wish I hadn't gone on that trip and missed my kids' play, stuff like that.
It's interesting because then Jennifer said to us, if you only had a month left, what would you do then? But it was the same thing, the same answer.
Right.
For me personally, I was like, well, I'd do the same things if I didn't feel that pressure.
I'd have a lot of sex.
Brad, it
For
is
a
your
month.
life. As the self-confessed guinea pig, switching gears slightly, of all things treatments, wellness, what is new? What is happening? What are we really into at the moment? Gwyneth
Oh,
Paltrow?
wow. Okay.
We want a list that we're all going to shop straight after this.
Okay.
From the Goop website, by the way.
Well, we don't sell the first thing that I was going to tell you about, which is there's a very cool little gadget that I got recently called Heart Math.
Oh.
And you clip it to your ear, and it's an app, and it just helps you kind of down regulate your nervous system.
Oh, good Lord. And you see a result on the...
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't know if I want to watch that.
No, it's good. It's very good. It just helps. My nervous system's kind of messed up, so I'm trying to do some work on my nervous system. So I really like that. I recently have actually started being less strict with my anti-inflammatory diet, which I had to be for a few years for, some specific reasons. But it's felt really well to sort of relax a little around, like having a drink once in a while, like not, having some
Yeah.
you
Just
know,
go for
hot
it.
fudge sundae once in a while. Like, so that's been kind of great. And then I'm really interested in, of course, kind of the popularization of functional medicine, which is something that I was banging on about at Goop for a long time. So many of us are chronically ill to varying degrees. You know, it could just be chronic inflammation or it could be autoimmune and Western medicine is actually not that great with anything chronic. They're great with acute, but less great with chronic. Um, and so it's been so inspiring to see. I've seen so many friends have access to that kind of care. Now there are all kinds of new companies doing it and it's becoming much more accessible. So I feel very excited about that. And also this kind of like the democratization of the personalization of medicine, because we're all so unique. And the idea that one diet or one vitamin D is right for everybody is just not true.
It's interesting. I interviewed you a couple of years ago. It's for the Today Show, and you sat there and I asked you about what would be the next wave in wellness, and you said exactly that. And you talked about the personalization of wellness.
See that?
See
Nobody
that?
listens to me.
No one listened then. How do you think AI is affecting wellness?
I think it's incredible. I mean, I'll caveat that by saying I think that there is a like a machinization of culture, which is probably not so good. But in terms of having this personalized, like I build these GPTs and where you can de-identify your health data and you can put it all in. And I have the most incredible conversations with this GPT that I built around my health.
Wow, we need
So-
this prompt.
So
Can you
I
send us all
can show
that?
you how to build it. It's so easy. It's just you kind of make a project and you just take your name off
Wow.
your documents and then upload them and but use the paid version so that it doesn't train
Note to
off your
self.
data. Yeah. So for things like that and for solving medical mysteries and ongoing things, I think it's going to be amazing. I also think it's going to be great for us because we will need artists, philosophers, thinkers.
Human.
We will need that more than ever. So
Yeah.
I think before AI, I used to worry about my kids going into the arts, which they both want to do. And I used to think, oh my gosh, it's such a tough career and it's unstable and who knows and all the things. And now that AI is probably going to take a lot of these
Totally,
jobs, we need artists and we need to counterbalance the machines with soul.
Absolutely. The human first.
Absolutely.
With wellness then, what is something that you maybe letting go of or you just haven't got the time for or it's just crap?
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think what I've let go of recently. I mean, I usually don't implement something if it's that crap, right? If it doesn't work. But I mean, I've tried certain things that I have a hard time getting into.
Such as?
Like I
Make us feel better about ourselves and all these things we start and then don't finish.
I really struggle with the cold plunge.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, horrific.
I hate it. I really have tried and I feel like I'm being tortured.
Okay, so switching gears, we're winding down for 2025. How do you create space to reflect, to think about next year, to set goals and intentions?
I really admire those people and CEOs who like sit down and they kind of like have these company-wide PDFs they send out around like next year's all the like the inspirational, I don't do that. I mean, I wish I was that person, but
Do you do it in your personal life?
no, I don't. I
Not even
don't.
flip through the photo album and be like,
I
oh, that
mean,
was cute.
I like to sort of reckon with the year and what the lessons were.
Yeah.
And especially the harder lessons, so I like to try to make sure I've heard the universe and I understand them so I don't get them again. What I do love is every Christmas, that week between Christmas and New Year, there's like that real old school holiday, where nobody's working. And that's like always, I do it as well for 2 weeks in August every year. I close the whole
Excellent.
company in kind of a European style and let everybody have the same time off in concert, because it's the only way you can really
Otherwise, there's
stop.
no way. There's always going to
no
be
way.
someone sneaking in with an email.
There's always. And so I think we all need to be better collectively at work around deciding to take time so that everybody can really have downtime and rest. And that's when I really regenerate. And that is the time where I kind of reflect on the year the most.
What are the goals for 2026? One goal.
Oh my gosh. I would like to be more intentional about how I spend my time. I think I have a bit of ADD and I can really get sort of pulled in lots of directions. I think I would love to try to not do that so much and like feel more grounded throughout the day, because I feel like going back to the nervous system and doing all the things, sometimes I'll get an email or some work thing, or there's a problem or an issue, and I really take it like it's sort of a slap in the face, So I would really like to rewire myself so that, medium or bad news doesn't feel so terrible.
How did you recognize, you said your nervous system is shot. How did you recognize that? Asking for a friend.
Well, I've lived a very intense life in the public eye for a really, really long time. And so I think whenever we're at the mercy of people's opinions and all the energy behind the opinions, I'm very sensitive, as most of us are. And so I feel that, and it kind of frays my nervous system. I think it's an estrogen dominance thing. It makes you really anxious.
Oh, goodness.
So there's all kinds of great things for you to look forward to. But so part of it is physiological, part of it's psychological, part of it's emotional. And I think part of it's, a public life. So I don't know why it is that in the past couple of years, it's hit me so hard. But I know that there's something wrong, because my cortisol's I'll get in bed exhausted and my heart will start to race. And then I'll have intrusive thoughts, which I've never had in my life ever.
Is it interrupting sleep as well?
My sleep is still pretty okay, but it's
Lucky.
sometimes I wake up first thing in the morning and I'm filled with dread and so this is not, I wouldn't say it's never been sort of who I am. So there's a lot of parts to it, but definitely there's a big nervous system component.
With that said, who's on team support for GP? Who's on your personal team? Do you have a coach, a therapist?
I have 2 therapists.
Excellent.
One is a nervous system specialist. Wow. I have amazing friends, amazing women in my life, incredible, whom I can call if I need help. Jen Freed is one of those people. Incredible friend, mentor, teacher. And then I get a lot of healing from my family, from my kids and my husband.
That's your phone a friend.
That's if I can be with everyone, especially if all 4 kids, my stepkids and my kids and my husband and I, if we're under one roof, my nervous system calms down.
So holidays are going to be great.
I know.
Most people's stress goes up. Gwyneth Paltrow is all going to be chill.
I don't know, because we have some other people coming for holidays too.
I want to get into that. What are the traditions? Tell us, what are the traditions in the household?
During the holidays proper, so I'm half Jewish and half Christian, so we do everything, which I love. I love Christmas. I love the tree. I love the presents. I love Hanukkah. I love the togetherness. I love the meals. I love the family. I just love everybody. I think what it is I love that collective thing of everybody agreeing that it's a special time, right? Like a holy time.
Totally.
I love Boxing Day, which doesn't happen in America, but
everyone needs to know what Boxing Day is.
We
take it from a Brit,
right? Will you explain Boxing Day, please?
It's the day after Christmas Day, which is essentially you all sit there in your pajamas, eat more food, watch more bad TV, open more gifts again, and drink more.
That's it.
That's it. It's fantastic.
But it's a national holiday.
Yeah, so there's no shops open. There's no shopping. You literally just sit there and fest.
It's heaven.
It's wonderful. And eat turkey sandwiches from the day before.
That's right.
Okay, so you have built a brand around trusting your gut. What was the last time you trusted your gut?
I think I trust my gut more and more and more. I think that also when you come from a place of like wanting to please, which I did for the first at least half of my life, it sort of cuts you off from your instincts.
Sure.
And now that I'm old and I don't give a fuck, I can feel myself so much more, you know? Like I can feel my opinion, I can hear my thoughts, I can feel in my cells when something is wrong or
Immediately?
almost immediately, usually immediately. Sometimes it takes me longer.
What's the difference between instinct and intuition?
So I think intuition is like that deep vibration in your cells and that's leading you. And I think instinct is more a reaction, but coming from everything that you've learned in your life.
Right.
So it's a very informed reaction.
Right. And the other's more primal.
Yes, I think so.
Fight or flight.
Or more psychic or more,
Maybe.
you know, connected or something.
Switching gears again.
Okay.
I just keep changing it up on you. You recently went back to the big screen. Thank God. Marty Supreme.
Yes.
How did this experience of returning back into that world change from doing it in your 20s?
It was interesting, you know. I had not done a movie in, I think, 7 years.
Wow. And you hadn't missed it.
I hadn't missed it at all. I hadn't really thought about it.
What made you do this one?
So the last time I was in a movie where I was in every scene of the movie, I was pregnant with my daughter, Apple.
Which one was that?
It was called Proof. It was an adaptation of a play that I did in London, actually. When I had her, I just thought, okay, I need to downshift.
Yeah.
And I was burnt out and I was, you know, running all over the world doing and having a great time and, you know, but I needed to slow down. And then I had my son and then I just thought for me, you know, I didn't want to go back to it in the same way. It's, you know, when you're doing a film, you're away from home a lot.
Sure.
And even if you're shooting in the same city where you live, you leave before the babies are awake and you come home when they're asleep. It's not a regular work day.
And even if you're there, your probably mind is elsewhere.
It's just for me, it was very hard to think about doing that with having kids. So I did a few supporting parts here or there where I could, you know, like when I did Iron Man 1, it was like 3 days a week or, you know, it was like felt more manageable, but very selectively. And then they all left me and went to college. So I thought, okay, well, I got this very nice phone call for this very cool movie and nobody was home anymore. So I thought,
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. It was really, really fun. I loved the director so much, Josh Safdie, and Timothée Chalamet is the star of the movie.
Yeah, I'm not going to let you off this one very easily.
Okay, that's fine.
From what I've read, I believe it is a little raunchy.
I mean, there's a lot of making out and a lot of, you know, there's a few sex scenes and that kind of thing.
Gwyneth taught him a thing or two. He's only in his 20s. Well, if you think about when you were in your 20s, what was that Shakespeare in Love? Probably the same age as he is now.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
What is the biggest risk Gwyneth Paltrow has ever taken in her career? Don't know why I'm asking you in third person, by the way.
I think essentially stopping my film career and, you know, taking this crazy leap to start Goop. And, you know, this was like before Instagram, before people like me were doing businesses. And it was a big risk, you know, and people thought I was really nuts for doing it.
Thank God you wrote that first newsletter from the kitchen table is all I can say. Well, with that said, you actually started, it was recommendations, right? You were telling people like, you know, where to go, what to eat, what to buy.
I think just shortcuts, you know, it's
Right.
like for women who are discerning and who are busy and who just want like the quickest road to the best thing. And at the time there was nothing like that on the internet. And so I wanted to create it for myself and for my friends. And then everyone was like, what are you going to do with this? And I was like, I don't know. I'd like to make it a business, but I'm not sure exactly what road to take. And I'm really passionate about product. Like, I think it's because I want to try to find the best of the best thing. And when we were starting to think about it, there was no clean skincare at all. Like there were a couple of brands that were like really granola-y sort of health food store, brands, but there was nothing for a woman who wanted a high performance skincare without literally antifreeze in it, which is in a lot of expensive moisturizers, or, carbon black and mascara, which, you know all about. These things that are incredibly toxic to us and that we put on our bodies and in our hair and our eyes all day long. And so I just, thought we should try to do this. This is something that women need. And, when you look at all of the increase in all of these diseases that we have that are downstream impact of inflammation, and we're all inflamed because we have so many environmental toxins. So few of us are able to detoxify everything that we're assaulted with every day. So it was a very mission-based thing. I didn't know if it would work or not, but I'm also a real perfectionist, which also comes from not such a healthy place sometimes. But because of that, I think, I wanted to make the absolute best thing that I could, and just have a very high standard. And then it sort of started to catch on, and the business grew. And then, we started clothes, which is my real passion. And the business line sort of followed, but it was very, very organic. And there's never a right time. I think it's always a bit scary, and you always think, oh, is there room for this, or why am I doing this? But if you really want to put something into the world, just do it. There's no right time. You just have to take the leap.
With that said, what is the one thing that we all need to be buying for the holidays? How do you choose gifts for people?
Well, we have a gift guide at Goop that's legendary.
It's legendary. One thing from it. What are we all going to be what's going to be on back order by the time we get to it?
I don't know why this just popped into my head, but there's this very cool set of mahjong tiles, which
amazing.
Yeah, which I don't play mahjong, okay? Let's just be clear about that. But it just seems like something that might be...
so chic. Speaking of time, what is your favorite way to waste time?
I love to just sort of fritter away the day, like on a Sunday, just sort of potter around, and I'll go on Pinterest. I'll think, oh, what was that thing that I wanted to look up? Or what was that Swedish vase place that I found, and then I'll make some food, and then I'll read a book. And I love just frittering that, I love that when it's just one day.
Aimlessly. No agenda.
I love it.
Apart from a boyfriend breakfast.
That's true, yes.
Which we do need to make into a book.
Do you think so?
100%. Right?
But it's all breakfast. It's like...
I have books on just cheese sandwiches.
You
cheese
do?
Oh, yeah. They're specialized.
Okay, well, maybe.
What's your go-to power-up lunch?
Oh, my gosh. You mean if I'm exhausted?
You were ordering from Goop Kitchen. What should we all order?
My favorite, we have this, cooked salmon bento box.
I think I've had it.
It's so good with lots of little, and we made this cute box, and it has all these compartments, and it's got all kinds of little bits and salad-y things.
Pick a mix bits, yeah.
It's really delicious. But we have amazing salads, and the whole thing is gluten-free. The superfina, we have rotisserie. It's also to help moms who are busy and don't want to feed their kids shit at the end of the day. So there's no corn, there's no peanuts. You can avoid soy. So it's very easy to avoid allergens. It's organic and just really beautiful. And, it's funny. My first newsletter was recipes. Food is such a cornerstone of Goop, and also of whenever anybody says to me, I don't feel well, I feel sluggish, I always say, what are you eating? The fastest way to feel a difference in how you feel is what you eat.
One of the greatest gifts of this podcast is the chance to sit down with extraordinary people and ask about the paths they've taken, the pivots, the leaps, the lessons. It reminds me that progress is never linear, but a dance between heritage and innovation, the very spirit embodied in Audemars Piguet's 150th collection, and why we chose to partner with them on today's episode. Since their beginnings, Audemars Piguet has reimagined the very idea of watchmaking, creating pieces that not only keep time, but also remind us to step back and see our place in the universe. From perpetual calendars to celestial designs, each one is both timeless and boundary-pushing. Together, we wanted to honor the idea of living a life of possibility, of asking what else might be true, what else might be beautiful, what else might be possible. Like Goop, they are dedicated to inspiring dreams, to reminding us that we're part of something larger. So as you listen, maybe allow yourself a little time out, a pause from the noise, a moment to reflect on the power each of us has to shape the future and to become always a little more ourselves.
I think also my hormonal phase of life, like I have a lot of anxiety for the first time in my life.
Interesting.
Jennifer was saying that she knows that I have a Pisces rising because she's a psychologist and an astrologer.
That's why I'm scared of her.
I know. And she knows my chart very well. And I don't really understand it, but she does, thank God. And she said I have a Pisces rising. Is that what you said? Which means I'm a channel and connected to the collective. I think is part of my anxiety from that. And I think that's probably pretty accurate. I'm really unsettled. I find our culture right now very difficult to understand. Mm-hmm. I think I've been having trouble connecting this more cosmic idea that's very palpable and real, right, to my own experience, or like drawing them in or connecting them. You know, it's so funny. This year around my birthday in September, I was so overcome with grief. For the first time in years, I curled up on the bed and sobbed on my birthday, like heaving sobs. And I was thinking, oh, must be because my father died around this time. And, you know, but it's 23 years ago that my father died. And yes, there was a part of that, but I think you're right. And I also think we're terrible in our culture at dealing with grief and death and feeling like we have no tools to process these. We're not taught how to bring in and feel and process these terrible feelings that we have and that are so human. So, and I think so we do suppress them, and then we do have anxiety, and we do have, you know, like grief comes out these other places. I think like in the optimism of my children about their own lives and their own paths, you know, in that amazing way, like before life really kicks the shit out of you, and you have this optimism about, you know, and nothing's decided yet. You don't know who you're going to marry, and you don't know where you're going to meet them, and you know, and you don't know what path you're going to, what city you're going to live in, and are you going to live in Paris for 2 years? And there's such a strong human spirit in that kind of optimism, and so I really like being around that, and also. It's just so simple, like being in community with people who care. Like, you know, you're saying like when people have empathy and can sit with one another and you can share in grief, or you can share in the more complex or difficult things. And, you know, especially this is why why we're so important to each other. It's like we understand each other's experience, and if we can be vulnerable and get out of that old-fashioned like competition paradigm and be in communion with one another and be vulnerable, like it fills me. I'm like, oh, this, you know, I feel so bolstered by like the empathy and understanding of another woman.
Thank you so much for spending time.
Thank you so much.